What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you doing? I am going to be being a little bit quieter for this video because there are people upstairs sleeping and I'm trying my best not to wake them up, but I'm bringing you another little tea video tonight. So let's get into it. First thing is Patrick Starrr. Now Patrick Starrr recently visited the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, where of course a few years ago tragically there was a big huge shooting incident, and Patrick shared on his stories that he was very emotional and kind of breaking down visiting Pulse nightclub. He also shared like his story of growing up going to Pulse, all of this stuff, saying that like that was the first times he would go out experimenting with makeup and stuff like this. You know, it was really part of his queer history, part of his queer, you know, education and growing up was going to Pulse nightclub to watch drag shows.
Hi guys, I'm here at Pulse. It's the first club that I grew up going to here in Orlando, and I haven't visited since everything has happened, just because I couldn't wrap my head around this being gone. But I wanted to pay my respect to this wonderful club that I grew up with here. I wouldn't be Patrick Starrr had it not been for this place, this escape for me. And I'm sending my love, my prayers to everyone out there, and just to be a little bit more. And you guys know I never cry on social media, but I just wanted to spread the beautiful place that this was and still is to this day, and that is Pulse. And I went here when I was 18 with my friends, and first memories of wearing makeup and seeing the joy, and that's what I want to share and keep alive, is the beautiful people and the memories here at Pulse. So if you have the chance, please check it out, the foundation here. I'll link it down below. And yeah, I love Pulse and I love all of you guys.
You know what though, when I saw this from Patrick Starrr, when I saw this, I was actually quite moved, because I remember when the whole Pulse shooting incident happened, and I remember at the time over here in London, I actually went out to a vigil that was being held for the victims of the Pulse shooting and their families. There was a vigil that was being held by the Latino queer community in London, and it was over in a park that was opposite a gay bar that I do go to, or used to go to quite a bit. So it was in South London. So I went over to this vigil with some friends at the time. We were all lighting candles and stuff for the deceased, you know, all that stuff. And some people got up and spoke and everything, and it was really, really moving. And then from there we went on, after the vigil, we went on to a drag show, which was at the bar across the road from the park. And it was something, I can't describe the feeling in the room that night, but you know, the night was to raise money for the victims of the Pulse shooting. You know, it was for that, basically. The night was for that. You know, we'd been to the vigil and then we went over to the drag show, which was to raise money for the families who'd lost people at the Pulse nightclub shooting. So we went over to this drag show, and you know, I've been to loads of drag shows in London, like loads. So this one really felt different though. It was a really kind of different vibe in the room that night. You know, you could feel this kind of air of grief almost in the room, because we as queer people when we hear stuff like this in the news, you know, it does affect us because queer people, you know, we tend to think of other queer people as our family. And when you hear something like really tragic, like the Pulse nightclub shooting, you do feel it. You know, you do. If you're a queer person, you do feel it because you're like, well, that could have been me out at a nightclub dancing with friends. And that could have been us who all got shot at, you know, just because some homophobic people decided to come in, you know, that could have been us. And it really hits you and it hits home when that happens. And at this drag show, there was one of the performers, it was like the second to last performer. They made me cry. They really did make me cry. They did a performance where they came out with like tape over their mouth and everything, and it was all about being silenced. And this performance was so moving that it genuinely made me cry. I don't know, it was just like it came out of nowhere with me. I just burst into tears at the table. And this performer, what they did was, as they saw me crying, they came and touched my hand. And it was just like a really kind of sort of magical moment of connection that we had. You know what I mean? Like, they just came and touched my hand. And my other friend was like hugging me with the arm around me. And I totally didn't expect to fall apart during a drag show like that, you know, ever. But it was just something that happened because the general kind of air of grief in the room over the Pulse shooting. And then this performance where the performer had had all of the names of the victims like on loop at the beginning of their performance. And after that, it was after that that I started to cry. I started to feel myself go. So I can totally understand Patrick Starrr being emotional, going to Pulse nightclub and seeing that, you know, seeing all the tributes for people and everything like that. I can totally understand, because it is moving and it is upsetting and it is emotional, you know. So I'm not going to read Patrick for filth, say, oh, he's trying to get attention by crying on IG stories. I'm not going to do that, because genuinely in this situation, I don't think it is, because fuck, you know, it made me cry too. This situation made me cry too when it happened, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and read Patrick to filth for this, because I genuinely do believe that Patrick is emotional about Pulse nightclub, and I do genuinely believe, you know, he's telling us about his story of growing up queer, his experiences going to the club, feeling like himself, you know, experimenting and feeling kind of free for the first time, you know. As queer people, we've all got that kind of story. We've all got that kind of experience the first time we went out to a queer bar and felt connected to other people. You know, I think we've all got a story like that. So I'm not going to be reading Patrick to filth on that one. You know, whatever you want to think of Patrick Starrr as an influencer, yeah, he's done some shady things. He really has, you know, but I'm not going to read him to filth for crying outside Pulse nightclub at all. Especially when you think of what's going on in the world right now with Florida and their Don't Say Gay bill. And Orlando, Florida, that's where Pulse nightclub is. You know, so especially when you think of everything that is going on in the world, no, I'm not going to read Patrick to filth and, you know, say that he's being manipulative or, you know, all of that by crying on IG stories that he's looking for sympathy, because I don't believe that that's what it is. So I'm going to move on, because Jaclyn Hill just posted an IG story also, and Jaclyn's IG story was kind of weird, if I'm honest. She put up a poll saying, are you ready for Jaclyn's journey or not? And then it was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for Jaclyn's journey. And then there was another option like, I don't like you. And I thought, come on, Jaclyn. I thought, why are we putting that? You're just asking for people to hate on you. If you put I don't like you as an option and people can tick that, then they're going to fucking tick that, aren't they? You know, and this to me is Jaclyn, like, just baiting people, asking for attention, you know, very much that. That's what it looks like to me, baiting people, you know, because why would you put I don't like you as an option if you don't want an excuse to come on IG stories and then talk to your fans, you know, talk about yourself a bit more? It seems shady to me that Jaclyn put that "I don't like you" as an option, so that Jaclyn could then come on her IG stories and moan that people don't like her. Oh, well, why are you following me if you don't like me?
Okay, so what I'm about to say, I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not in any way kidding. Clearly, people hate follow me, and your secret is safe with me. I'm not going to come after you. I'm not going to attack you, obviously. I want you to tell me right now. I want you to put it in the box. Why is it you follow me? I mean, it could be like any reason, whatever it is. Like, I want you to search into your soul because I'm genuinely curious. Just like the reason behind it. Is it like you think I'm fake and you're just like, I don't know. Is it my eyebrows? Do you think I'm cringy? Like, whatever it is, put it in the box. No judgment. I will not expose you and your name. I just genuinely want to know.
Okay, being fair to Jaclyn, she says, "Oh, I'm just curious. I'm just curious about why you following me if you've put you don't like me. Oh, you hate watch me, whatever." Yeah. Girl, come on, It's really kind of narcissistic, right? To be like, "Oh, why do you follow me? Oh, look, you're all obsessed with me. You don't like me, but you're all obsessed with me." It's really kind of narcissistic to me. It comes across that way. I don't know, maybe Jaclyn is gearing up to launch another product or something. I do not know. But I was just like, this is a little bit weird. This is a little bit shady, that she puts "I don't like you" as an option and then complains that people don't like her. It's like, well, girl, if you give someone a baseball bat to hit you with, then you can't really complain when they hit you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you on this little one. I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you very soon on the next one. Love you guys. Take care.